Hello, everybody. Welcome to My Humble Opinion. I'm Chachi. Here's Tom. We're back, as we said. We're checking out the. Today, we're doing. I told you we're going to do some deep dives into our favorite teams. You know, I'm a Ravens fan. Tom's a Packer fan. We're going to start with the Packers. In my opinion, the more. Not that the Ravens aren't going to be good next year, but I think the Packers have, like, really good momentum going. They make the right moves, and I like the defensive coordinator switch already. So, Tom, you are the Packer expert, more or less. Go ahead, my friend. Begin. I will sit here
Yeah.
and.
Well, let's start with the biggest news was they hired a new defensive coordinator and they're actually and this makes a ton of sense for just their personnel right now and honestly where the league is going. Um,
Mhm.
they're moving towards a base 4-3. They're still going to run. People got to understand everyone pretty much runs a four down front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's standing outside linebackers or not, right? That's sub nickel package. That's what everybody does. That's the NFL. But I really like the personnel going to a 4-3
Mm-hmm.
when you're in those, when you have those two wide receiver sets, tight end, or two tight ends, fullback, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It makes so much sense for them. Quay Walker, it now gives him the ability to be a, off ball linebacker, right? And he's going to be able to attack, which is really, that guy's so athletically gifted.
No, he is.
He needs to not have to think, right? And last year, like, he played really well. He got in trouble a lot because the things that he was asked to do, he was just missing tipping balls and stuff because it's so hard what they're asking him to do, right? And, the rolling coverages that, Joe Barry, that, what they had was just not really conducive for him. So I'm really excited for that. I think, like, when we talk personnel today, like, at least I think defensively is where they're going to have to really, which is wild to say. Like, everyone's like, oh, man, the Packers have spent all these first-round picks on defense. Yeah, they're going to have to continue.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
I don't know. I think in the first round there's a couple of options they could take, but, you know, continuing to bolster the pass rush, taking a linebacker, taking a safety. One of their spots right now, I think there's a big time question mark is slot corner.
That's true.
Um,
I agree.
and then, they got to, so we'll get into all that.
What do you
There's a
mean,
couple
man?
guys I
Preston
think they should
Smith,
resign,
buddy.
but yeah.
Preston Smith, corner, slot corner of the year. What do you mean? He's locking him up.
Dude, I do miss that. I mean, he did take a pay cut, which is amazing because I would have demanded more because he was playing D end and corner. Just saying, his franchise tag when you go to argument.
He said,
Arbitration.
I'm slimming down. I'm about to be all time corner. He's like, hey, I'm doing it. I would laugh so hard. He dropped 60 pounds to become a corner. Just comes into camp, I got this,
Right.
coach.
Well, you know what was wild about
Tom?
Island, and actually, like, there's times he's tipped the ball. I mean, people forget he has, I think, like 2 pick-sixes in his career with Green Bay. Like, the guy is at. I've always loved how people have. I don't think people appreciate enough Preston's consistency.
I
And
think
he's a
people.
really good leader, and I've always loved him, and I'm glad he's still around because I think he still has a lot to offer that team as a veteran.
Well,
And,
I think your D line is definitely like your strong point because Kenny Clark's a great player. He's been a great player forever. You got the interior pressure. Rashawn Gary's been really played really well last year. And the most important thing about your team next year for me is you got the quarterback, right? That helps a lot. I don't think AJ Dillon's coming back. I don't, unless he's taking a cut. I really don't. I think you have better options if you want. In fact, if you want, because I don't think it's going to cost a lot of money. I think you guys could use Gus Edwards a lot better than the Ravens did, honestly. And it's not a shot at the Ravens. I'm just saying, I think he would get more carries there because with Aaron Jones, he'd be a very good second running back for them, and he is very good at between the tackles running, better than AJ Dillon. And you know how much I liked him in the draft, but Gus is just a better runner. He breaks away sometimes, and he can catch. Just so could AJ, but I'm saying you don't lose that.
Yeah, but what AJ's really good at is moving a pile.
Yeah,
Which is nothing bad about that.
No.
He's lost his legs.
He
Like,
just don't
really
have the
quick,
speed
which is
anymore.
what
Yeah,
sucks.
he don't.
But
He's got like
like I think for the right price, I would bring him back. But I just don't know what that market is going to demand.
yeah. No, I agree.
That'll be really interesting too. But let's you want to start on the defensive side, and then
Yeah,
we'll get
let's
to,
start on the
I agree
defense.
with you on the offense, and I think O-line. There's a couple of moves I really want them to make, and also talk about David Bakhtiari, which is kind of people call it an elephant in the room. It's such a good problem to have, in my opinion. But
it is.
Let's
let's
talk about the real elephant in the room.
Yeah. So the
wonderful defense.
So the defense. Jair's hurt a lot. If he's healthy, he's good, but it's so weird. And his contract, it's a whole thing. They don't know if they're keeping him, trading him. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're going to keep him. I don't know why you would get rid of him. I still think he's a very good player.
I think no, they're going to keep him. I think suspending him, what that did is that set the tone of this is the standard we want from you. What you've been doing, not even just on the field, the antics and stuff, be a leader. We paid you to be a leader, right? Because you're absolutely right, Josh. When that man is on,
really
he
good.
is really good.
Yeah. I mean, look at the playoff game. Look at the playoff game. I mean.
Yeah. No, exactly. And his big issue a lot of the times is, whether you like the coaching or not, you got to be a leader, and you can't do the stuff you're doing, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I think he's day one. He's starting. That's not the issue. They need to get him to become back to that blue chip player level that he is.
Yeah.
I would what I really like, the question mark I think in the cornerback room.
Slot.
So you have Valentine, who played a lot.
Pretty good.
And I think he was I think he's an outside corner.
Yeah, he's big.
And he can he can switch with Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes, I really hope he can resurrect his career after that injury. I mean, last year, I think that's the first time he played football in over a year. He got burned for 3 touchdowns in 3 games.
Yeah.
He really.
No,
he's just getting his feet back underneath
I'm with
him,
you.
literally.
Slot corner is definitely a big need. It really is. I agree with you.
Yeah, because Keyshawn Nixon, in my eyes, he's okay. He's a great depth player. That guy's a return specialist. Let him do that, right? I don't think his legs are always fresh enough.
Oh no, I agree.
Because he was out on the field a lot. This is the one thing I would be really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So Green Bay they voided. So Savage's contract is void.
Okay.
Darnell Savage is a really good athlete.
He is.
He was never. The way they were using him, when you want to talk about mismanagement, Mike Pettin had him. They were using him correctly. That's when he had a lot of success in the league.
Yep.
And now,
I think you're going to say the same person I'm going to say. So go ahead. I think I know where you're going.
But I will say this too, though. Darnell Savage didn't help himself by the number of missed tackles he had.
No.
And, he did a lot of things that hurt him as well.
Yep.
But if you can get him, I would bring him back on a 1-year prove it.
Mm-hmm.
He should be in the slot.
Yep.
You can do a lot of cool things with him, and that helps just add depth. I don't know if he's not a safety. Let's get out of that. Do kind of what San Francisco does, where they have what's his face in the box. He's kind of that guy.
Yeah.
Because he can make tackles at the line of scrimmage. He's that athletic. Let him do those things. But
no, I agree.
You had something there, Josh?
I think Geno is the Geno Stone for everybody. The Ravens too, because I think Geno deserves the start. And with the Ravens, I mean, if Kyle Hamilton's healthy, and I like Geno, but Kyle Hamilton's really good. It gives Geno a chance to start, and I think he's a very good player. And it helps the Packers because that's who they need. They need a guy that's always in the right position. If you throw the ball to him, Darnell Savage played really well in the playoffs, but I'm telling you right now, Geno Stone's not dropping that pick because he does not drop picks. He has very good hands. Now, is he running it back? Probably not.
Oh, no.
That's the difference.
Josh, I don't disagree with you. I think you bring Savage in and an additional. I think you have to go spend money in free agency.
No, and I'm 100%. with you. It's like he would be be really good playing downhill. Maybe put him on some tight ends because he's athletic. Just don't put him as a safety. Like no, it's not his thing. He's too out of position a lot of times. Makes mistakes.
That's what he never did that at Maryland. That's what it's like. And then when they drafted, that's not what they used him for. So it's like,
yeah.
And he does, like you see, he can break on the ball.
Oh
like,
yeah.
That's one of the things he can do really well. And I mean, anyways.
Safeties, though, you're right.
I think
Safeties.
Geno Stone, I really like the rumors around him because I just like when you draft football players from Iowa, they generally do well. That's a really good program in the college football, even though people make fun of them for how bad their offenses are.
Oh yeah, our line, every lineman the Ravens get from Iowa is a beast, man. Linderbaum's really good too. I mean, it's a factory.
Yeah, no, dude. Any offensive lineman, D lineman you're getting from Iowa, they're gonna have some level of success.
Well, you know who else was from there? Bob Sanders.
Defensively too, man.
Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders.
A lot of good corner safeties and linebackers that come out of there too.
Bob Sanders. Everyone, Bullet Bob Sanders, the legend. He was awesome. I know he was on. He's like a shooting star. Great for a little while, but he was really good. Like, man, what a legend.
I think what the other interesting rumor I've heard is Xavier McKinney, and more as a free safety.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that ain't bad.
Yeah, so that's a big thing I think Packers fans got to understand too. So they're no longer going to be playing these cover fours, meaning, hey, you have four guys that are covering 4 quarters of the field, right? Mm-hmm. And they're just not letting you get burnt deep. What they're playing now is they're going to try to play more of a press man, press cover 3, where you have a single high safety in the middle of the field.
Love that.
And you're going to let your corners, right? So, again, the benefits of that, right, is, and this is what Green Bay played with Mike Pettin, the benefits of it is, hey, you're going to disrupt timing.
Yes.
Which helps those pass rushers eat more. What it does get you in trouble sometimes is I think what Green Bay got so scared of after the NFC title game is when you don't have a good corner, you can get burnt.
Yeah.
Kevin King, welcome, meet Scotty Miller. Okay.
No, but you're right though. It's like it's a catch-22, right? Because it really is schematically. It works better with the way offenses work now. Because if you mess up the rhythm on like these screens and stuff, the whole play it becomes a huge net loss to play at best. Like 3-yard loss, it works like that. But also, like you said, if you just ain't got the guys, sometimes it looks bad because they just get hosed, and then it's like a 30-yard touchdown. It's like, oh, damn. Well.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, what I like about it is you're bringing a safety in the box. It's going to help in the run game, right? Like Green Bay's run defense since like Joe Barry got there has just gotten worse and worse and worse.
Oh, yeah.
And they've invested in so many players, but it's because they don't attack. Now you can attack, right?
Yeah.
The NFL is still again running the ball. If you can stop the run, you have a chance. You have to be able to do it.
Oh yeah. Well, we brought up that stat. Like, as much as everybody loves the quarterbacks, you can name any of the great quarterbacks. I'm going with playoff games too. If you don't run the ball, like attempts, you don't win. You don't, because running game balances everything. So, like you said, to stop it when defense is still the number one thing, because you got to take balance away from an offense. That helps you win games, because then your linebackers aren't biting on the fakes. You had the middle of the field's covered because they're in the way, and it helps a lot on defense because it messes everything up.
Yeah, and so I think Green Bay is going to address safety in that slot corner, free agency, but they're also going to draft.
Yep.
Right? I think that there's a safety coming out of Minnesota I really like.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple guys I think you can draft them in like the early second round. And that's the thing, as a Packer fan, this draft is really exciting. They have 11 picks right now, and they have, I think, 5 picks in the top 100. Which is really good.
When we get into our draft thing, I'm gonna look really into them corners. I've been doing that. I like the corners, man.
Yeah. What's interesting is he keeps saying Green Bay's gonna take like a corner, and I'm like, they actually don't need a corner.
No.
They need a slot defender.
Yes.
It's kind of like they keep saying
safety,
Kool-Aid
slot,
McKinstry or whatever. And I'm like, that's not what they need.
No, that's a corner.
What they need is a Charles Woodson-like player. That's the guy. Not obviously you'd love to have Charles Woodson, but
like a Kyle Hamilton type guy, right? Where you can like put him in a slot and cover people, and do all that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. You need a guy that can make tackles, but also help cover in that short
Yeah.
game.
Oh no, that's
Um,
exactly what you're saying. Is it's like Kyle Hamilton, like as well as he covers. That isn't why I love him. It's because every time he makes some tackles, it the guy gets like 1 yard or -3 on those stupid screens or
yep,
whatever. It's like nope, nope. It's where you're stopping, buddy. That's tackling, man. That's big. Always
yep,
is.
yep.
I
No,
get,
so I think like the next area that's gonna for Green Bay that's gonna be interesting. They gotta address is gonna be the off-ball linebacker. So
yeah, Devontae Campbell's
quick,
looking old, man. Looking old. But
yeah, he's old. You know, if they can restructure him, I think he should
yeah,
be back.
restructure would be
There's
good.
something to
Yeah.
be said about having a veteran,
Oh no,
right?
no. I think
And
they should
like
keep him, but I'm
the
like
amount they're
you.
paying him, yeah, and you know he may play better because he's downhill. Like again, his age, he just, you know, it's kind of like Ray Lewis, right? Like he had to evolve as a player, and they kind of adjusted the scheme as he aged.
Yep.
Because he had, as the NFL was changing to more of this space game, he had to like lose a ton of weight and become more of a space player, which was super challenging. But like once he was able to do it, you know, he was still really good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I would love to see Campbell just healthy. But you know, as an option, you know, he may be back. Like that's the thing. I think they need to move on because of the cap number, but he honestly might be back.
Well,
And they
I
probably
think
could
he
do it.
will be back just because he knows the system. He's older. He can mentor the younger guys, show them what to do on the field. He'd be really a good help for that. You know.
Yeah. So what I'm interested in is, you know, you have like Devin White. There's a lot of, I think what Green Bay needs is a really good strong side linebacker, a guy that can take on blocks. That's just big.
I think
And
he's gonna
you
have
know,
a renaissance. I was gonna bring him up. I think he's gonna have a renaissance in his career just because I think everything just kind of went like, and Tampa didn't go well. I think he needs a fresh start. I think that would be really good for him. I think Green Bay's a really good spot.
yeah. There's a lot of really good strong side linebackers in free agency. I see Green Bay dipping in there a little bit. Again, that's going to be a draft position too. I think that's more of a day 3 type deal, but
Oh, what's his name? Oh my God, give
So,
me the one linebacker's available too. I forget his name. He has the really cool name. Give me a minute. I'll remember it. But good.
oh, the guy for Carolina.
Yeah. He's another one.
That yeah, dude, he's a beast. That guy can.
Burns, right? It's Burns, right?
No,
Not Burns.
It's like Kohu or something.
Kohu, yeah, that's it. The quick one. Yeah,
he's
he's really good.
He's really good.
Yeah, Burns, you
When
have to
he
check
played
him out.
Green Bay, I was like, who the heck is this guy? Can we
All
trade
over
him
the
now?
field,
Like,
man.
and
Yeah.
the fact that the guy just attacks is exactly what you're looking for. Yeah, I think, but like that, so that's like depth at off-ball linebacker is huge. I think Green Bay's defensive line, right? So yeah, you know, we talked about you have Kenny Clark. TJ Slayton is a very, very underrated nose, right?
Oh yes,
I'll be
absolutely.
really curious how it works in the 4-3 defense with him. But there was a game I think against Denver. He had 12 tackles. Like the guy can just for how big he is, he flies around. He reminds me of Gilbert Brown a lot, like a more athletic.
Oh, he was underrated, man. He always made plays.
And it was fun because TJ Slayton always paid homage to Gilbert Brown and would do the Gravedigger celebration. So it was fun to like watch him. He really does remind me of him.
I love Gilbert Brown, man. That was a legend in the '90s.
They drafted 2 guys, Kyle Brooks and Chris Wooden.
Okay.
Those 2 are really good. They're like really good pass rushing defensive tackles. You might even be able to honestly slide them out at end sometimes. And then Devontae Wyatt last year he definitely took a step. He's just got to finish plays, but man, like he can, for how his size, he can really rush the passer.
Oh yeah.
And then Rashawn Gary, like my thing with Gary, and I think fans got to calm down too. Like he didn't have a sack for like 8 games after that like Detroit Lion game, but he affected so many plays because of just how quick he gets back there. You know, for Gary, I think it's just again finishing. Like he does finish. Like that guy. He has so much. Just to get back to where he is after completely tearing his ACL was amazing. And you see, like he has the ability to change the game.
No, I agree.
There's a reason why they paid him, but they definitely need him. Like he's got to continue to affect the game, and you gotta produce. That's the big thing. Like But I believe in him, man. That guy, like I said, he like just to be able to play this season period and be ready week one was amazing. He played, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is a. I love having that guy in that locker room. So
I just think he honestly, I'm like you. I think the stats sometimes, especially for defensive linemen, like anyone rushing the passer, are overrated sometimes because I think people make more plays than if you watch the games. Like you said, Rashawn Gary disrupted a lot of plays. Ball had to go out quicker than they wanted to, ruin the whole play for the offense because they're throwing the ball way earlier than they wanted to. Can't go through the progressions for the quarterback. You know, it's a lot of times you don't get a stat for that, but it does happen a lot with great players. So really good players. Shout out to Rudy Ford too.
Right, dude. Most of their safeties, like I said, the Green Bay's dipping in the safety market.
Yeah.
I think are pretty much good as gone.
Candace,
I think maybe Owens might come back.
I was going to say Candace Owens' husband. He was pretty good. Or no, my bad. Simone Biles' husband did a very good job.
Yeah, no, Jonathan Owens, I like him.
Old Johnny.
You know, I think he does make he does miss though too many tackles sometimes. But
he does.
He is though. Like I would be curious if he was actually like I think he's going to be back. I don't think Rudy Ford's back. I don't think.
I only said the Rudy Ford thing.
Changeover over there. I like Rudy Ford though, but I just think there's. And honestly, I could see that's where Savage doesn't come back either. Someone's going to want that athlete.
Oh no,
Rudy might be tired of the way he was managed in Green Bay.
No, I like Rudy Ford because I just like Rudy Ford because he's a guy that just works hard and he makes plays when you need him to. He's a good glue guy. You know, keep him on the team. Plays hard.
Yeah, no, he's really good depth. Like he really stepped up a lot for Green Bay. There's no. Like, it sucks to see those guys go, but I just think they got to go in a completely different direction at safety, which they really haven't addressed.
No, I agree. That is important. That's really important.
It's just like you saw in the NFC title game, that is such a blatant weak spot on that defense, and it's just like you have to do something different. Luke Van Ness too. He had a really good rookie year. I'm excited for him. Again, year two, hopefully things start to like click.
No, he at the end he really came on strong. It's really good, impressive.
I definitely foresee him starting to take a lot more reps away.
Tom.
Potentially.
There we go.
I mean, that's ideally, but look, I do love my Preston Smith, man. I'm really pumped he's coming back. Fans are like mentioned. Fans, I think, forget he was a defensive end in a 4-3 in Washington, so he can do it. I'm not worried about it.
Oh no.
And again, remember, just because they're an end doesn't mean like there still can be a kind of off the ball or stand up, right? Like that's what people gotta understand. It's not just because you're running a 4-3 doesn't mean you're like a true like 2003 defensive end. That's not what that always means anymore. So I'm excited for the moves. They're going to be putting money in that side of the ball again, which is you kind of scratch your head, but yeah, it is what it is there.
No.
You got any other closing thoughts on the defensive side?
The only thing I gotta add, I like the D line, like you said. You even have depth. You have young guys that I see more potential out of than most teams' young players. Like you said, Vanessa's really showed you some stuff. Like at worst, he's going to be a really good guy, to rotate and make plays for you, which is always good to have. Linebackers, you have Quay Walker. For all the crap people give him, he is a very talented player. Makes plays. He really does. Because I know the meme. Everyone likes to make fun of him, and it was funny when he's like pouting in the. It is funny. I'm sorry. He'll never live that down. Sorry, Quay. It's the internet, buddy. But he is a good player. Okay, he really is. And Devontae Campbell had step. I agree. I agree. The problem is the slot safety, a slot corner, or let's just call him a slot cover guy. We need someone like that. And you need the safeties. I agree. If you get that balanced out, defense seems like it'll be a lot better in a 4-3-2. I feel like your team matches up personnel-wise with Preston Smith and everybody better at a 4-3 than a 3-4, obviously. Because, like you said, Tom, I feel like the NFL's going that way, too. 3-4 is so hard to run now with the way it's played. I feel like 4-3 is the way to go. But I agree with you. Besides that, I like the starting corners. The end corners really good when they're healthy and mindset's right. Jair, how that goes. I love the pay cut. Preston Smith taking it. I think he's going to help a lot. He's been solid. I mean, there's nothing you really say about him. So I agree with you. It's going to be fun. That's going to be the fun side of the ball now this year, assuming the offense stays the same, because you know what the offense is, assuming. Now you get to see this defense kind of come together, which is going to be awesome. I also want to say this for Packers fans. I'm going to be watching them because me and Tom, But give your team time, too. Don't go crazy because your defense struggles like the first week or second week. Because like Tom said, the way it is structured now in preseason, the first 4 weeks are all preseason games anyway. Don't take any of that like, oh, my team lost by 30. They suck. It's like, give them week 8, then you're kind of getting in this. Then you'll know how the defense is doing.
I totally agree with you, man, and I'm telling you, like, it's going to take them probably 8 weeks into the season to start to gel and understand.
Oh, yeah.
These guys really fit well and can run this scheme.
Yep.
And, yeah, it's probably going to take them a couple years to really lock down.
No, absolutely.
And get it, and truly get it, clean. I think so. I guess let's move to the offense, man.
Let's move to the offense. You want to go first, or you want me to go?
I'll start it off. I think so. The big positions of need right now, number one starts with, I would say, offensive line.
Yeah.
And it's just adding depth. I think one of the really interesting moves that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, is what do they do with David Bakhtiari? To me, it's a great problem to have.
No, I agree.
Right? You have a Hall of Fame tackle. I really hope that this surgery has finally made the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because, think about this. He was one of the highest graded offensive linemen all year. He played that game in Chicago hurt. And he didn't play all preseason. He didn't really practice. That's how good this guy is. To me, I know he's a big cap hit, but it's kind of like Trent Williams. When that guy's out there, you don't have to worry about that position at all.
No, it's true. It's true.
And
he is really good.
And it changes too. And it honestly changes too the way you can even line up. Well, I really think they're gonna bring him back. Rasheed Walker proved last year at the end of the year he got it together. He was a really good prospect out of Penn State. He just couldn't stay out of trouble, academic problems, right? And people question that. He played really well at the end of the year. Move him to right tackle. Zach Tom is a really, really good offensive lineman.
Yep.
I think he would excel as a guard. Put him at right guard. Put him at center. Now, all of a sudden, that offensive line is starting to look more elite because you have an all-pro guard in Ellington Jenkins.
Yep.
I think Zach Tom is headed that way.
Uh-huh.
You have clearly a Hall of Fame all-pro left tackle in David Bakhtiari. And then Rasheed Walker, again, those guys, I think those guys can play really well as well. So, I think I think one of the ways they might go in the draft is drafting one of these tackles.
Uh-huh.
I do feel like there's going to be a run on them. When we do our mock draft, I'm telling you, I really think there's going to be a big run on them.
I agree.
I wouldn't mind Green Bay drafting one of these tackles and letting him kind of sit and develop. But also, hey, if you need him to play, he's ready to go.
Plug and play kind of guy. Let him learn. I got you.
Yeah. I'm really I'm excited with the offensive line. I really hope it works out with David Bakhtiari, and I hope to God they keep him. I just think I know it's been a long road for Packer fans with him, but think about what that man's went through to get here.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy deserves an opportunity, and I would really hate to see him traded to the New York Jets or something, and him actually have 3 more successful years. I want that man to retire as a Packer. He's just that good.
I agree.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, man. He's that darn good.
I agree. I agree. I think.
To me, it makes no sense to let him walk at this point because he showed he still hasn't lost a step. He's just not healthy and right.
So, do you think they bring A.J. Dillon back as the second guy? Even though I thought your third running back was doing a very good job in the playoffs, the one who's put up there to be second, he did really good. Wilson, yeah, he was doing solid.
I think they're actually. This is what I'm curious. I'm super curious what they do here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like A.J. Dillon. I think he's a great locker room guy. He's really good at pass protection. He's
he is.
big. He's honestly having a guard in there, right? Like when he steps up, he pops people.
Oh yeah.
I love his physicality, and I think it does matter. It matters. He's clearly though just an average NFL player, which is not a bad thing, right?
No.
But you noticed when you saw like Eric Wilson come in there, that guy's got a little more juice.
He does.
In his like when he cuts, AJ Dillon's always been a little bit. He's like I call him the human changeup, but like he reminds me of like Brandon Jacobs. He's big. He's hard to get down.
He wears down a defense. Yeah.
I think they're going to add more depth here.
Mm-hmm.
I do think in the draft they may try to find a guy that emulates a little bit of what Aaron Jones does and could potentially be. Like, again, this is a, day 3 guy. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised either, like, if they took someone in the second round, like was it Blake Corum out of Michigan?
Brandon Allen,
There's
maybe?
another guy I really like.
Brandon Allen?
Yeah, from Wisconsin. I really like him.
He's really good. He's solid.
I don't like what everyone keeps saying, like, this running back class is weak. It's like, I mean, yes, you don't have Gibbs and, Bashawn Robinson in there, but it doesn't mean it's weak.
No.
It might actually be better than what when those guys end up being.
Oh, man, you know how they are. If the guy ain't running now if they ain't fast, they're bad. It's like, dude, some of these dudes, I like that they can run fast, but you're not wearing down a defense. You're not. It is what it is.
Yeah. Hey, remember last year how bad the wide receiver class was? Yet Green Bay found Dontavian Wicks,
Jayden Reed.
Jalen Reed. I'm missing someone else too. Like, I'm sorry, there was a really bad wide receiver class.
Right. They were terrible. Oh, yeah, Zay Flowers, man, he was
Jalen
awful.
Reed could potentially be one of the better slot wide receivers in the NFL at some point in his career. Dontavian Wicks has just so many, like,
oh my God, what am I talking about?
Puanuka.
Puanuka, yeah, this draft class was terrible, man. That fucking guy, right? Excuse my language.
Yeah, no, like that. I appreciate, like, I understand draft analysts and stuff. Like, I totally get it. Like, but until they actually produce, you don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna throw this out here right now.
Man, Dontavian Wicks. I remember reading about him at Virginia and just like his mindset. Like he went through like an offensive coordinator change and his senior year, and he was frustrated in his performance, and he knew he wasn't, like, things weren't clicking in his head, and he was thinking too much. But like if you look at his tape the prior years, like, man, that guy was unbelievable for Virginia.
Oh, dude,
like,
I agree with you. It's crazy because my thing is we're gonna do these mock drafts and stuff, and mock drafts just who we think where they're going. We don't know anything about it. You don't know the drive some of these people have. Because seriously, if you go to like just looking at people, Jamarcus Russell was every bit as big and strong as Cam Newton, but only one of them wanted it. Oh yeah, we'll get into that at the end too, because God, Cam was laying it down. That was fun. They tried to fight that man, it didn't work.
But yeah, I mean, like, kind of similar. Green Bay offensively, I think, is continuing to add depth. I mean, I think receiver, they're good. I think you go with what you have. I really like it. Tight end, I love that room. Again, you're going to still draft people. I think they're going to focus more on the offensive line. Running back is a big, like, they got to figure out more depth, right? Because Aaron Jones, you're going to have to manage his pitch count at this stage in his career. He's still got it.
I agree.
Like, he's going nowhere, right? He showed when he is healthy, but Green Bay has a big challenge of managing his workload because he's an older back that he's taken a lot of NFL hits, man. It's time
He is.
I could see them potentially dipping a little bit into free agency. Like think if they're able to get like a
I think if they could get
what if they get Jacobs out of Oakland,
that'd be really good.
Vegas.
Oof.
Like, honestly, like, Saquon, I wouldn't say is even outside of it either. I think Saquon's going to get way more money.
Yeah.
But, like, you never know. Like, the running back market, they don't want to pay him.
No.
Like, I would pay someone $10 million to be a backup to Aaron Jones because he's going to probably get half the carries.
No, I agree. No, I agree.
Because you think about it, A.J. Dillon, I think max makes $4 million a year.
Tom,
and the question is, would you want to sign him short term or long term?
Tom, there's two places that I think I brought him up earlier, but I just think he fits your team so well. I like A.J. Dillon, but if you can't get him back, Gus would be perfect. He really would be. he would be really good for your team.
I forgot who was like super interested in him.
Buffalo probably.
I mean, who?
Buffalo probably. He'd be a good backup there to change up with oh my god, what's his name? Cook. That'd be really good. Them too.
Yeah. No, I would love him too. I just don't, like I said, you never know too if that's where,
he wants to go.
Gets another opportunity where he's actually like more of a focal point.
That's the other thing,
clearly there's going to be a time and place where you're not the focal back.
No,
right?
I agree.
You're definitely going to get a ton of carries, but you're not going to be always, that offense is truly the blue chip. It runs through Aaron Jones. So,
no, I agree with you.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm really excited for Green Bay's off season. They can go a lot of different ways, and trust me, they're not just going to sit around because I think they realize how this team's young. You got to add pieces to make it. You can make a run with this team.
Oh no, I agree. Look, the thing that impressed me most out of everything was how that young team was not afraid of the playoff moment. They were there. They played hard. They should have won both games, but hey, they're young. You make mistakes. You lose some games. It's fine. Like you said, got to capitalize on the red zone. But I was so proud of them. I was like, this team is going to be really good. Assuming everybody comes back and plays the same, because you never know, injuries too. It's football. You know how that works. That's like you said. That's why you need depth, because someone's getting hurt at some position. You're going to need them to. Hopefully not for the season. That's the ones that kill you. But you need depth for the games throughout the 3-4 games. Like Aaron Jones might be out, or one of the receivers. That you're fine. Receiving depth's crazy on that team. That is wild.
Josh, think Aaron Jones was out half the year. Honestly, he barely played. And then they brought him back, and he was kind of healthy, but they really wouldn't let it. They gave him 2 carries. I mean, pretty much they put him out there as just God forbid someone get hurt. That's all they did, and he was just like, all right, we need a body. They were trying to protect him and keep him fresh. So it was yeah, man, it's all depth. Their youth, they're doing the youth movement work that paid off. I mean, you got to give that. I mean, that was one of the best coaching jobs you've got to, wonder ever at Green Bay, of just keeping that team together, being the youngest team to ever make the playoffs. That's
not only that,
that's insane.
That your GM got a lot of crap, but he did the right thing because he saw the writing on the wall. Aaron wasn't worth what he was giving you off the field, and he wasn't bringing the young team together. You needed a young voice in the locker room, and Jordan learned from him. I'm not hating on Aaron. Aaron helped him, I'm sure. He always says it. He definitely benefited from backing up Aaron and learning from him. You could see it in the way he plays too, the bravado, the way he just flicks it, man. He goes, which I love. But they needed a young guy that could relate to the receivers. That you could see the cohesion they all have. What I love about that team,
and also too, I think the big thing from Jordan Love is he doesn't get upset when one of those guys makes a mistake.
No.
He's like, just let's get it next time. That's the big difference. You have Aaron wants perfection when he's not perfect. And it's and yeah, you can, that's what the standard should be. But you have to keep going back to these guys because you saw whoa, now this receiving core reminds me of those 2010, 2011 teams where it's
loaded.
I have no idea where the ball's going.
Loaded. Neither do they. Yeah, neither do they. You can't cover everyone.
The thing is, those receivers don't care either. You saw, they had that mic'd up thing. They love blocking as much as they do catching the dang ball.
Oh yeah.
And I'm this team, you can tell they all love each other, and
absolutely.
That's what I'm so pumped about.
No, dude,
all you need is love, man.
I love that.
That's what I'm gonna end it on.
Exactly. What I love is when all that turmoil was happening, mid-season, where everyone was like, "Oh, Jordan Love's not that good." And that team never wavered. Like you said, they were with each other. They weren't wavering a little bit. Then the Thanksgiving game happened, and they went off to kicking butt. They always steadied the course, man. And like you said, at the end, they were a team nobody wanted to play. And they gave everyone a dogfight, and they really were tough. That was a tough out. Because the defense kind of started making plays, which was wild. Yeah. It was
you could argue, too. I mean, honestly, any of the teams in the divisional round, you could probably argue could have won a Super Bowl, but seriously, like, could have won the Super Bowl. Maybe Houston wasn't ready yet,
Yeah.
but like in the NFC,
In the
you
NFC.
could argue like, man,
No.
if Green Bay
No.
would have done it, and I'd say Tampa Bay really didn't. They were kind of those two,
No.
Tampa and Houston, just they weren't ready. But man, Green Bay could have won the Super Bowl if they would have gotten hot.
Yeah.
And if they just, you know,
Well, I can
worked out.
argue they were scarier than any other NFC team. Like, I guarantee you the Chiefs, because they lost to them. The Chiefs would rather have played the 49ers like they did than them. Because, you know, like Jones said, he was even like, hey, man, we beat the Ravens. That's all we... He was like, we beat the best team. We're good. Like, that was funny.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, but honestly, losing that was actually probably better for Green Bay in the long term because I hate saying losing is better. It's not, but what it does is it keeps those young guys. It keeps those young guys hungry, right? Like,
hungry,
where you get all this success all of a sudden, like the NFL is very fickle, man. And sometimes even if you put your best out there, it's just not good enough.
Yeah,
and you gotta continue to have that drive, and that's what's I think.
Like
I said, I am so pumped for next year in this offseason.
Yeah,
I'm so pumped.
You should be. You should be.
Today, and dude, it's gonna be football time all year.
Tom, you should be because
the season starts in Green Bay, man.
Because my thing is, like, I hear people, oh, you never know, and you can't sit there and be like, well, next year. Yes, you can, because some of these teams, all we can do is be like, hey, they look like they're going to be good next year. Of course, injuries and all happen. In hindsight's 2020. You can say that, but there were a lot of teams where sometimes it looked like that, and yeah, it didn't work out. But that's all you can do is look at it and think, hey, maybe next year they're looking good. Sorry, you could say whatever you want. It's the youngest team, so experience is obviously going to help. Okay, it is. They should be better next year just because of the simple fact if they roll into form, injuries, God willing, be a better team because their defense should be running in a better scheme with better players on it. Just going by how the timeline looks, assuming they do everything right. I'm sorry, you can do that, and I feel like they will be. Not only that, the NFC, are the 49ers really going to be the same team? Because now you're that team that every time you get in a big game, it's like, are you going to choke again? Are you going to do? Is your coach going to do a bad job again? Is he? Because they got very lucky winning the two games they just won to make the Super Bowl. They should have lost both of them. Could have lost both of them. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, what's really interesting is
Brandon Ayuk probably leaving.
You can argue like Green Bay. It's like, hey, Jordan Love, or at the end of next year, are you talking about a potential MVP, or even as, hey, he's just the best quarterback in the NFC, right? Which I think he can. I think he honestly was the best quarterback in the NFC. Statistically, you can go, yeah, Dak threw 2 more touchdown passes, but I'm like,
nobody thinks Dak was the best one.
The whole dang way.
No one thinks Dak was the best one. Nobody.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, statistically, you can always argue that, hey, he was the best. That's all. But,
yeah. Does he play in the Commanders? Is he playing the Commanders twice again? Yeah, that helps. That helps a lot.
But let's go to the quick other fun headline things. Man, I feel terrible for Cam Newton, even though like it was hilarious that any young kid would think, oh, I'm gonna go take on a grown man. A grown man that played in the NFL, man.
No.
I'm going to go try to beat up on him and tell him he's trash. Man, number one, if I'm Cam Newton, like, you're trying to give back to your community, and this is what they do for you.
Well, what I loved about Cam, what I loved that Cam did, too, y'all can't even sue that man. He didn't even hit you. He just kept pushing you away so you can punch him. So what are you going to say? He didn't even try to hit you. He didn't. They can't say anything. Oh, he assaulted me. You ran at him.
I'm going to say exactly what Shannon Sharp said. Man, what the heck is your security doing? But number two, like Shannon Sharp says, it's hard for me to want to give back to the community when, man, I hate it when my own kids want to try to do that stuff. He's like, now I got to deal with he's like, and it's true. It's like, hey, come on, man. Like, parents, what are you doing?
Well, Tom, some of them were just coaches of the other team. They were like adults. These little short dudes, because it's Cam Newton. 90% of the people that stand next to him are short.
Yeah, dude, it was just wild. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, why is that? Like, it just stinks that, like, dude, like Cam Newton, like, he's in my
Hmm.
backyard in South Fulton, and you're like, he's trying to help this community. I'll tell you right now, this is not the greatest community of all time. They have a lot of struggles. And the fact that they have someone that had success in life and is willing to share his experiences and help you become better, and that's how you treat him, you wonder why your community is the way it is.
All I'm
Like,
gonna
it starts with people taking care of themselves, people making sure that they understand that you can do the right thing. So, and you don't even know, too, those kids might not even be from South Fulton. They could just be from somewhere else and they attended the thing. But just super disappointing, like, in society. We got to deal with that. And it's really unacceptable.
look. I've been joking
Frank.
around, but Tom is absolutely right. That's ridiculous. The guy took his time out of his day to help you. And Cam Newton's got money. He's got his podcast flowing. And by the way, how right was he about all the stuff he said? He's looking really good right now. Just saying. People taking him out of context. I mean, he's making sense. I'm just saying. And then this is my thing, guys. Like Tom said, he like really like what is that? You don't attack people like that. First of all, even if you have beef with them, why is the first idea to jump? First you jump at them, which is already like, dude, that's some punk stuff right there, bro. Don't be doing that. In any walk of life, we are grown. We are all adults. You ain't in high school anymore. You can't be jumping people, and that's illegal. Okay, that's why people got that mindset. Like I'm just gonna jump this. That's not how it works, buddy. You can't just grab people up. We have laws. You can't go around beating on people and grabbing them. It's crazy.
I think what's funny is they tried to do it. Again, it's to prove, like, oh, I'm better. Like, why would you ever say you can't? Like, I guarantee you exactly what Shannon Sharp said. Those kids were saying, oh, Cam Newton's trash. What are you watching, man? How unintelligent
What?
are you?
You can say whatever you want
Like,
about that man. He won the MVP, and the one thing me and Tom we were talking about this. The one thing you can't take away from him, and I don't care what anyone says, and you know I love Lamar and Michael Vick and that is the most physically gifted QB ever. That guy could have played like 20 other positions because he was so big and strong. Please, please.
yep.
When he went to that football field when he was a kid, oh my god. Good. Good. I'm sorry.
No, dude, no. You're 100%, man. I've had discussions with friends at home about, especially when Lamar won his first MVP. Hey, like, Lamar is probably like one of the best, athletic quarterbacks of all time. And I said, whoa.
I agree,
I
but
will still take
Cam Newton.
I mean, he's up there, but you
Cam
can't.
Newton.
But man,
Cam Newton's
saying
a
the
boat.
best.
Dude's a boat.
I have a hard. I mean, Cam Newton, man, like right there, the guy actually made it to a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, when you look at Vic and like Lamar right now, that's the one thing they can't say.
No, did you guys see that roster? I'm just saying. That was Cam. They got rid of Steve Smith too, so it's like it was Cam, bro. It was Cam running into everyone. That's why his career ended the way it did. He got beat up, and still, you don't fight. And this, I'm trolling because I don't like how them people handled that with him. This man was smiling when his truck flipped and got mangled on the side of the road. He was smiling with a broken back, and this is someone you want to fight. That is not smart. That is not smart. That man's like, hey, my back's broken, but I'm fine. Like what? Like so you want to fight him?
Right.
That's. Do you remember what he did to Josh Norman? He was smiling at that man while he was holding him down. That dude was like a little kid, couldn't even get up. That I still remember that. That was hilarious.
Man, they and then like the other thing that I think is funny, like it's just funny in the off season how like all these players now they get on podcasts and sometimes some things are just best left unsaid. Mecole Hardman kind of talking about hey, how he contacted Mahomes and the GM Bean about, hey, dude, I need and like how he was so checked out in New York. Number one, man, it just doesn't look good because it's like you're a professional and you're saying I'm just checked out.
Whoa, this dude called.
It's fine to say. It's fine to say like, okay. It's fine to say, hey, New York was just a really tough situation. You can read the headlines and make your own assumptions. I'm just, hey, it was really important for me, and I'm really grateful and blessed that I got out of there. Because like it actually looks bad on you
Yes,
to a
it
point too,
does.
but then also you're gonna get Kansas City in trouble for tampering. Like how
Yes.
dumb are you? Short both.
Well, here's my thing though. Like this is the thing I hate that we do in sports sometimes. I get McCole Hardman has 3 championships, but come on, bro. McCole Hardman ain't good. Get the Marquez Valdez Scantling gets more crap than anyone. He is a much better player than McCole Hardman has ever been. McCole Hardman caught a pass with no one on him. Any of us could have done that. Any of us. And everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't play."
Whoa.
No, you're absolutely right. I have never played in the NFL. Did you see how open he was on that play? Yo threw him a punt. Like that wasn't even a pass. He like shot put it to him. Like, hey, game's over. Tony Romo interrupted Jim Nance because it was such like a oh well he's gonna catch this and they're gonna win. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
What do we? No,
Exactly.
McCole, what did you do? What did you do? I'm sorry. It's like shut up. Like Tom said, just shut up, dude. You're not that good. Go take your 3 Super Bowls. Tell your kids in your high school how great you were in 20 years, and no one will remember you. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't care.
It's the same thing with
Nelson
it's the same thing
Aguilar
with Aaron
is a
Rodgers
better.
and stuff, right? Like these guys, these athletes. Sometimes, like, look, I love hearing about their experiences and stuff, but you got to be careful, man.
The
Like,
there's no
sometimes,
humility, bro. Like
reading and writing about how bad a situation is and trashing another organization, a team.
you're gonna
It's
burn
the
your
same in
bridges.
life, man. Yeah, don't burn a bridge. You don't have to. I mean,
No.
just because a place was bad, sometimes it's just not a right fit because it clearly works for other people.
Well, I think
I
people
know
don't
why, but it does.
people don't have humility either, Tom. I'm like, dude, you're not good enough to be sitting there talking trash about organizations. You barely had a job last year. Why are you doing that? Like, you're not like Terrell Owens. You can't be talking. You're not that good. I'm not trying to be mean. He's better than I'll ever be at football. Totally agree. All good. We got past that. But in the profession you play, you are not good enough to be telling organizations, well, they're trash. Dude, you ain't got a lot of bridges to burn. Okay? No one's going to be like, well, but he gets, oh, well, wait, he doesn't get 1,000 yards. Oh, wait, they got rid of him halfway through the year. Basically, right now, you know how they look at him? He works with Kansas City. I don't know where else we can, where if we're going to say, any other team would look at you like, eh. I mean, are you going to bitch about us? That's what you just did. They're going to be like, are you going to talk about us if we don't throw you the ball? Like, I don't know. It just makes no sense. I don't get the play there. His agent's probably like, dude, why? What was the point? You had this whole story.
Yeah, I mean,
He had the whole story going for him.
Yeah.
Oh, he comes to our team and helps them win. Oh, and now it's like, did you go to their team or weren't you not doing your job in New York? Were you not really trying? Because, just saying. It's weird. It's very, like you said, I don't get it. I don't get the play there. What is the point? McCole, what is the point, buddy? I'm not even hating on him. I hope everything goes great for him. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Ugh. Sometimes, man. Some people want to be the main character. Sometimes you aren't, buddy. It's okay. It's okay.
But
When the punter's making fun of you, I'm just saying. That's pretty bad. All right, but thank you guys for joining us on the deep dive. We'll probably do the Ravens next and then get into our draft stuff because then the combine will be all done. But thank you guys so much for watching. Likes as always are appreciated. And as always, subscribe for more content. And as always, good Tom, ready?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Bye.